Dan, let's dive right into it. Like, tell us tell us about you and your experience, your journey, and how specifically you got involved with platform engineering.
That's a great question. I really hadn't thought too much about it before, but when Chris was talking, it reminded me back then when I was a diagnostics engineer. Essentially, a diagnostic software is really just application level software intended to test and break the hardware. So it was very similar to application software, it just didn't run in production. But as those routers that we were building that Chris talked about scaled in complexity to multi-slot chassis with distributed software running on every slot, even the diagnostic software became complex. So I ended up architecting like a piece of core software that at that time, we didn't call it platform software, we called it infrastructure. The infrastructure team noticed it and they wanted to use it within their own framework. And that's pretty much how that gray line blurred. And from that point on, I worked at several startups where I would come in and build their, again, called infrastructure at that time, but it was platform software. And to me, platform software is the software, the infrastructure software needed to support whatever the core application is, which means you need to set up the environment, you need to handle faults, alarms, configuration, and things like that. And so, and it went all the way up to the architect role, like Chris mentioned. And in that role, you know, I started at that startup as a platform software guy doing what I did before, you know, implementing platform software. But after several years, we switched to cloud native. And then I went from developing proprietary platform software architectures to developing platform solutions that would work in a cloud native environment. And so it was a kind of a shift for me. But that's how I began, and that's how I ended up where I am today, working with Chris.
Wow, love the journey, love the arc.